This isn't on any one coach or any one side of the ball. We haven't scored over 20 points here in 3 weeks too. So I think our defense needs to do better. I think our offense needs to do better. I think our team needs to do better. And when I say our team, I mean every single player in there, and I mean every single coach. No, none of this changes anything with the trade deadline, how we played today or how we played these last 3 weeks. When you sit and you watch tape, when you're out there on the field, and I know how these last 2 weeks especially have felt, but I do believe we have the answers in our building. I believe we have good players. I believe we have good coaches. It's up to me to get them to do better.
Hey, Mike. How you doing, buddy? Hey, Mike. Welcome, brother, from another everybody. Hey, listen. Everybody goes through tough times.
I'm gonna say this with all humility. I'm gonna say this with all humility.
Everybody goes through tough times. Everybody goes through tough times. What are you gonna do? Everybody goes through it.
Tough times.
Everybody goes through it.
Tough people do.
Tough people do. That's right.
They don't pay me enough. I'm gonna say this with all humility.
What you mean? I'm
gonna say this at the risk of my. They don't pay me enough here. They don't pay me enough. I don't get paid enough to do this. I don't get paid enough to have to endure what I'm about to endure.
What do you mean?
I'm watching this game.
Man, we just talking ball, man.
Okay, well, maybe you're gonna surprise me. Maybe you're gonna be reasonable. Maybe you're just gonna tell me it's a rough stretch, and it's halfway through the season, and there's still time, and Deebo Samuel's out, and Trent Williams is out, and Brock Purdy's still just 23 years old.
Who I look like I'm from San Francisco? That's a bunch of excuses. You think I'm from San Francisco? Man, I don't make those excuses like that. Listen, if we had Deebo, if the officials hadn't done this, we a little banged up. We had to play. We had a short week. We had to play on Monday night in Minnesota, which is in the middle of the country. Then we had to come back home, and take on Cincinnati. And, the week was all messed up. And, we just had, it was just thrown off. And the NFL's against us and all this stuff. Look, no, I'm not making excuses. I think it's interesting. I do think
it's all I heard, by the way. It's all I heard. As I was watching Brock Purdy throw his 5th interception in the last 3 games, all I could hear was that cackle, that laugh, that cackle laugh. That's it. Almost. That's almost it. Not quite. Everybody that watches this show knows the cackle, not the laugh. It's the cackle.
I know. I'm not
That's
gonna
all I can hear. I was like,
I'm not
damn
gonna
it.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna. Not yet.
Eventually, it's gonna come out eventually.
Oh,
You'll
it's coming.
say something to
It's
make
coming.
yourself laugh. It won't come.
I know.
You'll say something, and then you'll make yourself laugh like clockwork.
This dude right here,
Continue.
man. This dude, your guy, Kyle Shanahan.
That's my guy.
What a week.
That's my guy. That's my team. Yeah.
What a week it's been. Okay, now, I didn't think they would beat Cincinnati, and not because they have a problem. It was a problem. Losing to Cleveland was a problem. They should have won that game. Losing to Minnesota was a problem. They're better than Minnesota. They should beat Minnesota. They should beat Cleveland. 2 teams that they're better than. They're not better than Cincinnati. They are not better than Cincinnati. So I didn't expect them to beat the Bengals. I expected them to play better against Cincinnati than they did. I expected them to do smarter things. For example, trailing 17-10 in the red zone, Brock Purdy rolls to his right, got a man open, he thinks, in the end zone, and yet throws it to Pratt, the linebacker. Great play by Pratt. It takes away a red zone opportunity. So, just like two more interceptions for Purdy. Just not really smart football. But it's been a week, man. Like, Kyle Shanahan is disappointing to me. I want to hear him say more often. He kind of skirts around. He kind of dances around the perimeter and says, well, I believe we have everything we need in the building. We have good coaches in the building. What I want him to say is, it starts with me, not including me and I got to do a better job. No, it starts with me. I got to be better. Like, I was aghast, Michael, at how he just threw Steve Wilks under a fleet of buses and Acela trains and probably dragged them to the runway and would have thrown them under some planes too. With that call against Minnesota, he knows he's got to do a better job than that. Hey, what?
Call.
Huh?
It was a shitty call. I mean, I'm a Steve Wilkes fan, but it was a shitty call.
Oh.
I mean, call it what it was.
So what do coaches do? What do coaches do? Coaches always say, what do the players say? I want a coach
Coaches
who
coach, players
puts me
play?
in.
Oh,
No.
puts me in
I
position
want a
to
coach
succeed.
who puts me in a position to make plays.
And he didn't do it.
Get hands on the ball.
He didn't
Get
put him in
hands on the
position to
ball.
succeed. Okay, all right, okay. You're right. No, if they make a play, nobody's talking about the last play before the half.
He made the same
2
play.
weeks ago. Okay.
He made the play earlier in the game.
Okay.
He made a play. Ball hit you in the hands. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And you want me to get to that cliche? You playing defense for a reason? I don't believe in that. I've seen a lot of defensive backs with good hands, good ball skills, and good hands. And if the ball hits you in the hands, catch the ball.
That's the reason why nobody calls that play in that situation. But okay, I'm
that's
sorry.
true.
Yeah, you were
That's
finished.
true.
Go ahead.
Nobody calls
Go ahead
it.
and
But
finish.
I'm saying, okay, even if it's a terrible call from Steve Wilkes, look, man, don't do that to your D coordinator. And then come back and try to clean it up. No, what had happened was I was just trying to say, no, I'm responsible too. Man, stop. This is why I don't like this team. This is why I don't like them. They're very talented. I know that. But they just make so many excuses. And Kyle Shanahan, it's everybody else. It's the quarterback. It's the quarterback's fault. Now it's last week. It's Steve Wilkes' fault. We get more Steve Wilkes questions. Today he handled it okay. Okay. Come on, bro. You 5-3.
Isn't there a Jamie Foxx? Like, you talk about the Niners like they juicy mouthed it or something. Like, you just There's some. I feel like there's some Jamie Foxx line in here.
Yeah.
From I might need security. Like, the Niners just seem to irk you. I knew all this was coming. I knew it was coming.
Go sit down. Go sit down somewhere. How about that, brother? Go sit down
somewhere.
Go sit down.
The argument was in the script.
Yeah, the script. He think we really playing.
He thought we was playing
football.
in the game. Right. No.
Hey, how about this? One more. Kyle
Yeah.
Shanahan, licking his lips and all that corny. Oh, that's corny. Go sit down, Kyle. Anyway, what's your defense? What's your defense?
I knew you were fired up. I knew you were fired up for today.
This 5-3 operation.
I knew you were looking forward to
the best team. The Cowboys. Oh, no, give it. One more before I give it to you. One more.
Take your time.
Michael Smith. Hey, Cowboys ain't got nothing. They don't belong in the same sentence as the Niners.
I said
maybe the Cowboys.
I said they didn't belong in the same ballpark, the same league, and the same effing sport. That's what I said.
Right.
That's what I said.
Maybe you're right about the Cowboys, but I tell you who does belong: the Browns.
Right on cue. Right on cue. There it is.
The Browns belong.
I knew he was.
The Browns
I knew he was going to do it. I knew he was going to trigger himself. It wasn't going to be the thing that I said. Nobody laughs at his own. Speaking of Jamie Foxx, you should have been a stand-up comedian because you laugh at your own material. It's really, it's. I love it. I love it for you, as they say. I love the way you laugh at your own. Because there's something endearing about a comedian that does laugh at his own stuff. Like I do.
Because if it's not funny, it makes you laugh a little bit, even if it's not funny. It's not funny.
It's got to make you laugh.
But the Vikings belong. The Vikings belong in the same sentence as the Niners. The Browns belong. The Bengals belong. When will they win again? When will they win? Man. When will they win again? Win a game again? And Mike, deal with this. Deal with this, Mike.
Yep.
The 49ers have a real crisis that nobody has really considered. And look, you have to admit it makes you view things differently, because when you thought when Brock Purdy started off 6-0, 8-0, 9-0, 10-0, and he conveniently got hurt, not his fault, but conveniently got hurt in an NFC Championship game, it allowed people to think that the Brock Purdy who they had seen in the previous game, in the previous games, was a guy who would just magically go into Philadelphia and make all the throws in a conference championship game against the number one team in the conference. Oh, yeah, he would be that. If he hadn't gotten hurt, this Brock Purdy would have done what he had done previously. And we all believed it. And then when he came back and they win more games. They're 1-0. They're 5-0. Of course, Brock Purdy is all set. Now, doesn't it make you think, what do we really have in Brock Purdy? Because now, not that he's a bum, but he's maybe not as great as we thought he was. He doesn't suck. Now, Brock Purdy, that guy, is now a work in progress. So the 49ers, 8 games into the season, have a work in progress at quarterback. Ooh, that puts you in a crisis because you don't really know what you're going to get now, do you? Do you know what you're going to get? Can you say it with certainty?
I saw 71% completion percentage yesterday, and I saw 422 yards from Brock Purdy yesterday. Yes, there was 5 interceptions in the last 2 games. And I know that, unfortunately, interceptions are always only the fault of the quarterback. I get it. Those were some bad ones, but I don't know what routes they were running on the second one in Logan Wilson. But you know what? But I will say this. I deserved all of that and more. I deserved all that smoke because what I sensed was all the pent-up, built-up frustration going back to last year's NFC title game. So, no, I deserved all of that. And for the most part, what you said was legitimate. Here's what I would say. What do the 49ers have, to answer your rhetorical question? What do the 49ers have? They have a 23-year-old quarterback. I don't know about you at age 23, but you know what I was at age 23? I was a work in progress. See, the thing that gets me about Brock Purdy is nobody is discussed in more extremes than Brock Purdy. Because for every person like me who thinks that he's the second coming and invokes, not compares, invokes the name of Tom Brady when it comes to Brock Purdy, instead of bringing a measure of balance to the equation, people like you with any and every errant pass that, God forbid, a second-year, 23-year-old quarterback throws, you want to say he sucks and he should have never been taken with the last pick of the draft in the first place. It's like, oh my God, as if no other quarterback throws interceptions in the NFL. As if no other quarterback, even the great ones, what did Patrick frickin' Mahomes do yesterday? Oh my God, he had an off day. So breaking news, Michael Holley, Brock Purdy is a human being who is not infallible. The Niners are not the predator. Actually, if it bleeds, we can kill it. The Niners are not perfect. Oh my God, they missed Deebo Samuel. Oh my God, they missed Trent Williams. Or God forbid, they lose games. What I never said was they go undefeated, because going back to that phrase about who they're better than, who they're supposed to be better than, all I know is they're better than this. And that's what I take solace in. They're better than this.
You know that?
Have your fun now. Enjoy yourself. This is your moment. Have it now, because you won't have it later. I'm telling you, ain't nothing changed for me. I'm still standing on that table. I'm still pounding that table. This is fine. This, to me, and in true San Francisco fashion, you'll love this. You'll love this. In true San Francisco fashion, I'm not going to make excuses about what happened yesterday.
Reasons.
I'm going to deflect.
Reasons.
No. I'm going to deflect.
Okay.
And I'm going to say it was, wait for it, more about my Bengals. It was more about the Cincinnati Bengals. Because both of these teams I have in a Super Bowl.
They're not your Bengals.
This is my, they've been my Bengals.
They're not your Bengals.
No.
They're not yours.
First, I sent you to the back of the bus. Okay, that's where I sent you first of all. Okay, like we're in the 1960s. I was like, nah, get your ass in the back of the bus. Okay, that's what when you try to jump on this Bengals bus. When you try to jump on the Bengals bus, that's the first thing I did. Now, you're getting off this bus. You ain't allowed on this bus, okay? They were always my Bengals. They're still my Bengals. This is about the Bengals that you tried to write off when they were 0-2, and I'm like, oh no. This is what the Bengals do. They always start off slow. I don't even know if I really said this. I might have been panicking too, but conveniently I'm going to act like I was not panicking.
You said it.
Okay, but I'm going to
conveniently
conveniently
act like I was.
2 years ago. Just go
along with it.
Just don't let the facts get around.
I'll play along.
Just go along with it. You were out here talking about, oh my God, they're 0-2, and this is different. It's not the same as in previous years when they started slow and found their direction. This man told you that the window is his career, and now he has told you, shout out to Mike Tomlin, this is my standard. 87% completion percentage is my standard, says Joe Burrow. This is why the Bengals, as we like to say, will be there at the end when it comes to this very crowded and a lot of people think there's a lot of parity in the AFC. No, it's still his world. It's still Joe Burrow's world. Don't get it twisted. I know Patrick Mahomes. I know Patrick Mahomes is reigning. I'm just on one right now. To me, this was more about the Cincinnati Bengals asserting themselves, announcing their presence with authority as still a factor in the AFC and the NFL. So again, the Niners just lost. They lost to a really good team that is rounding into form. Joe Burrow has gotten healthy. Things are clicking in Cincinnati the way they have the past couple of years. Whereas San Francisco, it's just a speed bump, Playboy. It's just a speed bump. You ever been on a streetcar in San Francisco? Every now and then they might hit a bump.
Yeah.
They might hit a bump.
Yeah, every now and then.
It's all good.
Okay.
It's all
good. A lot
good.
of hills.
The answers.
A lot of hills.
The answers are in the building.
A lot of hills.
The
in
answers
San
are in the
Francisco,
building.
too.
That's right. The answers are in the building. Don't worry.
hills.
Don't worry. Don't worry about us. We gonna be there. I mean, you got your little cute 7-1 team. Okay, that's great. Play your best ball in the middle of the season. Play your best ball in week 8. That's all well and good. We're gonna save our best ball for when it matters most. That's what we're gonna do. Ain't nothing changed.
When it
You
matters,
guys gonna come in here and be humble. You guys gonna come in and be humble.
yeah,
No, I took your shit, but don't worry about it. I'm not. That's okay. We gonna be all right. We gonna be all right. So
wait a
that's what I
minute.
know
Yeah,
about
I
the
like
49ers.
that, Kendrick. Thank you.
Yeah.
I like that. But it's funny how you changed.
Thought you about to get me to. Thought you about to get me to back down.
But you are deflecting because
I held my own.
You did talk about Tom Brady. You did say not that you said he was the next Tom Brady, but
I invoked his name.
Sometimes you know it.
Sure did. Hell, I might have been
Sometimes
first
you know it when you see it.
First one to say that.
Yeah.
Yep. Sure did.
You were.
Yep.
You were. Sometimes you know it when you see it, and he's got it, and it doesn't matter where you're drafted, where are you right now, and he's doing all these things. Now you're going to turn around and say, oh, it's some 23-year-old guy. He's a work in progress.
Brady had bad games. Brady had bad games.
He had bad games.
Remember him, but he did. Early on.
Bad games.
Early on. He had bad
he
stretches. Early on.
He had bad
Think about
stretches.
2002. I ain't got to tell you. You wrote the book. The book.
And he was right. Okay, in 2002, I don't think they won. I don't think they were there in the end. I think it just ended without the playoffs.
But which one we talking about?
So,
which one we talking about?
That's
we
a
talking
great
about
comparison.
Brady or we talking about the team?
You what? 02 Brady, in the end, it was a non-playoff season. So I don't know. Right now, I do know that the 49ers do not lead their division. They are not in first place in the NFC West.
Oh, and you saw what Seattle just did? You see what Seattle just did before we started the show? You saw what they did?
Oh, wow. Tell the people. They made a trade.
They went and got Leonard Williams. They went and traded for Leonard Williams. They got Leonard Williams from the Giants. Wow. How about that?
That's a good pickup. So, it's funny, though. It's funny, and I agree with this about Cincinnati, but, Mike, we anointed Brock Purdy. As a matter of fact, I heard the story of how Brock Purdy was on a fishing boat in the Pacific with 12 of his friends. And the water started getting crazy. He was asleep. And his friend said, Brock, help. And Brock woke up and said, peace, be still. And the water stopped. Oh, I'm sorry. That was Jesus, not Brock Purdy. Like, I've heard all the stories about Brock Purdy. And so you can't come back and say, whoa, he's not infallible. He's been described as infallible. He's been described as perfect.
But likewise, whenever he does walk on water, you say it's because he can't swim. So listen, all I'm saying is, like, 2 wrongs don't make a right, although 3 rights do make a left. All I'm saying is when you get upset, you get upset when we talk about how great Brock Purdy is, early on. But then when Purdy, again, throws, oh my God, 2 interceptions, clutching your proverbial pearl, 2 interceptions, then you want to act like he's a bum.
Hey, he's not a bum. I don't think he's a bum.
But
I just have news for
Are you sure it was
Brock
all
Purdy
on him?
fans.
I'm saying, and it's not just for Brock Purdy, it's for all quarterbacks. Why do we look at interceptions and only be like, because it did, I'm just saying, it didn't look like Ayuk and Kittle were both where they were supposed to be. Is that excuse making? Maybe it is.
Yeah.
On that second interception. Oh, I mean, I'm just saying. Did Juwan Jennings run the right route against Minnesota? But again, conveniently, you put it all on Brock Purdy. Because it fits your agenda. It fits your narrative. You people in the media, you have agendas. I get you got a job to do. I get you got a job to do. It helps your ratings or your clicks or your downloads or your likes or whatever it is you're in the business for nowadays.
That's what it's all about.
I get it. You know, you want to troll, it's fine. He'll be fine. He'll be fine.
No, it's funny. I think it's that. I don't you enjoy it.
I've never used this pronoun in the entirety of my career, but I'm gonna use it right now, just for purposes of this. We'll be fine. Okay, just don't worry about it.
Oh,
we'll be okay.
We'll be fine.
This is a we. It's a we. All objectivity is out the window, and as usual, it ain't got shit to do with what I care about the 49ers. It's about you. That's always. That's it. That's it. We find these things, whether it's Russell Westbrook, whether it's the Bucks, whether it's the Nets. We just find these little things. Whether it's the Bengals and who they're drafting, we just find these little things. And this is the latest and greatest example. Enjoy 7-1. I
love it.
Enjoy 7-1.
Don't you love it though?
And then enjoy Cabo come January.
Okay, so Cabo.
Oh, yeah. Vacation. That's cold. That's cold for vacation. That's
I know what it's cold for. I just love your head coach, since you're doing the we thing. I love your head coach. Brock Purdy throws an interception, throws the game away, and your coach says, hey, Steve Wilkes knows he can't make that call. What are you talking about Steve Wilkes for?
Seriously though, but seriously.
Your quarterback is doing it.
Before you go to break, Gary, I will say this, all jokes aside, something's wrong with the Niners. We've been having fun this whole segment.
Yeah.
Something's wrong with the Niners.
Number 13.
I don't think, and I do think it's not just number 13. Okay, how about this? How about this? You can't say it's number 13 out of one side of your mouth when things go poorly, and then when he's winning, say, oh, it's because of everybody else. Okay? Right. So let's talk about the everybody else for a second. Like defensively, there's a disconnect, and Kyle Shanahan talked about it, between, no, you can keep the music going, I'm about to wrap this up, between the pass rush and the coverage. There's a new scheme this year. I like Steve Wilkes, but there's something about this scheme that, we talked about it, is not maximizing these players. Like maybe these players aren't executing said scheme, but their secondary isn't holding up its end, as in the back end. Nick Bosa does not look like the dude that they just paid for.
How many points did they allow before yesterday? They scored.
I'm saying the defense has not. Listen, in the last 3 games, though, have they looked like the Niners defense the way they looked against the Cowboys, the way they looked the last several years? They have not played up to their standard defensively either. The kickers miss field goals, for crying out loud. It's not just Brock Purdy. I get that he's a convenient target, but it's not just Brock Purdy. So in all seriousness, something's wrong with my Niners right now.
Something is amiss.
Thankfully,
it's a crisis.
It's halfway through the season. It's not a crisis. Not
quite.
It's a speed bump.
Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget, you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.